Hello, it's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. We've got Mercury opposing Saturn this week, and then it entering into Libra. Venus enters Virgo. We have a partial solar eclipse because it's still eclipse season. Mars entering Scorpio, and happy solar return to all my Libras. With this week alone, we have a lot of ingresses. This week is about reality checks, breakthroughs, relationship shifts, and a huge reset as we complete eclipse season for the year. So I'm going to break it down transit by transit so you know how to work this energy in regards to love, money, and emotional healing. Let's get started.
3, 2, 1. I love you.
So here are the dates for the week. Mercury opposes Saturn retrograding. That is September 17th. On the 18th, Mercury will then oppose Neptune retrograding. Mercury will trine Uranus, which is retrograding. Mercury will trine Pluto, which is retrograding. And then Mercury will enter Libra. Well, actually it'll enter Libra first, and then it will do all of those things once it hits 0 degrees. And then September 19th, we have Venus entering Virgo. And then on the 20th, any of the planets that enter 0 is going to affect the other planets because Uranus is at 0 degree, Pluto is at 1 degree. Anyway, but Venus will square Uranus retrograding in Gemini. The Sun in Virgo will oppose Saturn retrograding in Pisces. And then we have our partial solar eclipse in Virgo. That is on the 22nd. Mars will enter Scorpio, and then the Sun will enter Libra. So let's start with September 17th. Mercury in Virgo is going to oppose Saturn retrograding in Pisces. This is about mental pressure and reality checks. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. It's very comfortable here where you're talking about details, you're talking about organization and structures. Now, when it's opposing Saturn, this is an opposition. There is tension. It's not quite seeing eye to eye. There's a tug of war. There needs to be a balance when it comes to things that are long term. Expect some delays, some obstacles, or maybe some critical feedback. Conversations could feel restrictive, heavy, especially about things that are very unknown, secretive, or even addictions. Don't force any agreements this day. This is a time to pause, reflect. It's a great time for prayer. Also having some patience or learning some patience. Now on the 18th, we have a full mercurial day, okay? Mercury is busy this week. Mercury entering Libra is going to have a tone of communication shifts. It's going to be really diplomatic. Could be a little passive aggressive in conversations or any type of emails that you receive. A lot of discussions on relationship also represents the media, so we can have a lot of judicial systems, fairness and judgments dealing with the law on TV or in the news. Now, once Mercury enters Libra, it's going to have a kite and it's going to oppose Neptune retrograding in Aries. At the same time that Neptune is sextile Uranus and sextile Pluto in Aquarius. Been there. And these are things that are moving fast in regards to communication and something that is new and deceptive. Now, Mercury in Libra is going to trine Pluto in Aquarius. So these are deep conversations. There's truth telling and there's powerful revelations. Now, Mercury is also going to trine Uranus, that's retrograding in Gemini. So this is brilliant insights, unexpected solutions. You have breakthroughs in conversations. I do think that there is some secrets and illusions causing some problems though, okay? So there'll be some unrealistic expectations in conversations with your partnerships. Be careful of contracts. Be careful of anything that's dealing with the law and legal systems or any promises. For the collective, this is harmony and balance. This is also dealing with people or alliance from different countries, and there could be some illusions in regards to war, and the media is pushing it in a more positive light. For the personal, there is something dealing with communication that's going to cause some disruptions. And when I say disruptions, it's just really feeling uneasy and feeling sensitive and feeling like you are kept in fog. Now, Mercury in Libra, it is very neutral here. Whenever Mercury is in Libra, it's very diplomatic. There's a lot of conversations about partnerships and relationships, and not just partnerships with love, but any type of partnership, a business relationship, you talking with your therapist or even your plumber. There's huge inspiration with creativity and a lot of decision-making challenges when Mercury is in Libra. Libra energy be very indecisive, and Mercury here can make you overthink, weighing all sides and not really wanting to make a choice. You hear a lot of things with our global partnerships. So for example, this would make me think of USA and Israel. A lot of discussions about legal news and court issues. And in the pop culture, a lot of media will be talking about love and relationships, even fashion and aesthetics. Now on September 19th, we have Venus entering Virgo. Venus does not like to be in a sign Virgo because Virgo is very practical and Venus is far from practicality. Venus is the planet of love, pleasure, and it likes to flow very easily. Virgo is very detail orientated. It's very critical. It's service orientated as well. And this can make Venus energy feel a little restricted. Venus in Virgo, you're going to express love through acts of service. You're going to be very helpful and there is an energy of caring. It's more modest in this placement. It's more grounded. There's practicality when it comes to beauty and fashion and art and love. It can lean more critical and notice a lot of flaws in relationships, a lot of flaws in your fashion, a lot of flaws when it comes to creativity. Finances as well, you will be more practical and probably want to save and not spend as much. And maybe spending more on things that help you organize or that helps you become more efficient when it comes to work. There's going to be a huge focus on health and food and labor because Virgo rules the health system, workers, and agriculture. Also, too, there could be a real critical tone when it comes to alliances. Venus in Virgo is not really romantic. It's more critical. So we could be more critical about our partnerships, even our nations being more picky about their allies. Hence what we were talking about earlier with Mercury in Libra, a lot of discussions on that, and we could be more critical around that. While Venus is in Virgo, we could pay attention to a lot of details in regards to law, technicalities, the evidence, and fine details that becomes more serious. Service and accountability. When it comes to signing contracts, you could be paying more attention to the details of things. September 20th, Venus is going to square Uranus and it's going to quincunx Pluto. So Venus squaring Uranus is surprise, unexpected news or something dealing with money and law. And maybe there's a sudden attraction or maybe you want your freedom and there could be some breakups or financial shifts and it's communicated in some form or fashion. Quincunxing Pluto retrograding in Aquarius means that there's lack of freedom of speech. There's some intensity when it comes to your future or maybe something that's very different is going to be very intense. This makes me think of like someone really saying, I want claustrophobic in this relationship or I want to try something new and different. I want a threesome, something like that. And it could be very intense for the person who is dealing with this as far as the relationship. Expect tensions, but use it as motivation to set some new boundaries because also that same day, the sun will be opposing Saturn. This is responsibilities and it starts to weigh really heavy. You may feel blocked or burdened, also pushed to grow. The sun being in Virgo and Saturn being in Pisces, there is this tug of war when it comes to charity and practicality and divine timing. Now on the 21st is when we have the partial solar eclipse in Virgo. I did a very detailed video on this, but this is a major reset when it comes to work, health, routines, and money. Eclipse is about beginnings and endings, and it's really hard to when it comes to eclipse because the timeline is really unpredictable, but we could have been feeling this a long time ago. Virgo is the energy of diminishing and cleansing and decluttering. It also is about work habits and actual labor and your actual job. Systems that no longer serve probably fall away and making room for things that aligned for new structures. Set intentions around wellness, daily discipline, clarity in finances and commitment. If you're having some health issues, this is probably dealing with this partial solar eclipse happening and things will get better. September 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio and the sun enters Libra. Mars entering Scorpio. Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. It really likes it here. It could be a little stronger. So Mars is going to be more intense. There's a lot of passion, a lot of focus energy. Scorpio energy is very fixated. It doesn't change. So there's depth and strategy. Also, too, now people are going to be at things and it's going to be more in a detective way. A lot of detectives and investigation happens with this energy and it's very persistent. A lot of strong willpower, strategic thinking to fight some long battles. The energy is more passionate. There's a lot of sensual energy here, magnetic, sometimes even vengeful and even obsessive. Great for transformation. If you're getting a surgery, this is a great time for that. Cutting away with what no longer works for you. Also, to the surgery depends on your personal planet, but Mars in Scorpio is transformation and knives and surgery. Now, Mars in Scorpio on a bigger scale when it comes to war and conflict, then you can have some intensity with conflicts. Okay, Mars is the planet of action and aggression. Scorpio is very secretive, though. It's controlling. A lot of underground power struggles happens here. So covert kind of warfare could be affair, secret alliances, just covert kind of energy when it comes fighting. A lot of power plays and obsessions. Mars here fuels all or nothing kind of attitude. Wars or conflicts that are simmering under the surface may now come above the surface. Everyone can see it, and there's no compromising. A lot of fights over oil, water, energy, financial systems, or anything that you should, like resources that are being controlled, could be an issue. Also too, there's a lot of psychological tactics that could be happening on a personal level and a global level. Resurfacing some old conflicts. Scorpio energy brings things to the surface. A lot of things that are below the surface comes up. So expect countries or groups with generational feuds to reignite these struggles here. Now, while the sun is in Libra, it is happy solar return to all my Libras, and this is the equinox. So this is somewhat of a halfway of a New Year's, right? This is a collective reset. This is themes of balance, relationships, and fairness is really dominated with this energy. A lot of focus on aesthetics. Also, too, this is a great day to do some vision boards. How do you want to reset half of this year and even make some new goals? And I will make some new goals as far as your harmony, even if you want to improve your aesthetics or your creativity and relationships as well. The sun does not like being a Libra. It is at its fall here, and the sun wants to be the individual, wants to express itself and have an ego, while Libra is really about compromising and balance, and it can dim the sun's shine here. Okay, identity and vitality is going to do partnerships while the sun is in Libra, through beauty, through aesthetics, through being very diplomatic, and fairness. This is an excellent time for mediation. This is also a great time for a lot of artists to thrive. People will shine when helping others feel more seen. It's not about the self, but it can struggle with being, again, indecisive. A lot of themes of courts and judgment here, and being fair. Also defining self through relationships or of being independent from a relationship will also be a focus here as well. Also, once the sun enters Libra, it will oppose Neptune at 0 degrees. They're both at 0 degrees. Your goals and what you're trying to achieve in life could be a little cloudy, and you don't really trust your divine timing and your intuition. There is lack of clarity and confusion. Could be issues with your relationships. You can't quite, you're seeing things through a rose-colored lens. Energy could be drained, or you could feel really insecurity. This is a great time to rest and focus on more a reality check. That's more of an essential. So talk to your earth sign friends, talk to Virgos and the Taurus, really lean on them this day. Leadership illusions, and people could be a bit more aggressive. Aries does represent war. Be aware of that, and there could be a collective fog to that day. Once the sun enters Libra, it will enter a kite, and we already had this at the beginning of the week with Mercury, and now the sun has entered the chat. So there's going to be a highlighting of what we had discussing earlier this week in regards to relationships, and it's going to be communicated in a big way, but there is this secret that is luring over our heads. So that is what we have for the week ahead. There's a lot of mixed tough messages and lessons and unexpected breakthroughs and a powerful new beginning, especially when we have that solar eclipse in Virgo, which you're already feeling as I am recording this video. Remember, eclipses are game changers, and with Mercury and Venus both shifting in signs, and Mars shifting in signs, and the sun shifting in signs, this whole week is a whole game changer. To know that this week is going to change a lot individually and collectively. The universe is clearly asking us to reset how we think, how we love, and how we show up in our daily lives. This week we can feel some intensity, a lot of newness, a lot of insecurities as well. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like. In my community, I've done several detailed videos on both eclipse and even eclipse in general. I talk about a survival guide and how it helps your life even for the best when dealing with any eclipse. So if you want more on that, click the link in the bio, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.